Today's lesson is sorting quadrilaterals. Now we need to understand the meaning of quadrilateral. Quad means four. Okay, so a quadrilateral is a shape with four straight sides. So it could be a square. We know that squares have four sides. It could be a rectangle. It could be a rhombus. It could be a parallelogram. It could be a trapezoid. And it could be an irregular polygon. Irregular means there is no name to it. We just call it a quadrilateral as long as it's four sides. You got 1, 2, 3, 4, something like that. It could look in many different forms. Okay, that kind of looks like a trapezoid, but I'm trying to just make random four straight-sided shapes that would look or that would be called a quadrilateral. So any shape with four straight sides is called a quadrilateral. Now with this lesson, I need to review with you something called a Venn diagram. It's something you've done before, but just a little review because with sorting quadrilaterals, we're going to be using the Venn diagram a lot in sorting them out. Okay, so a Venn diagram. So I'm just gonna basically start with, give you some numbers. We're gonna go with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 12, and 14. And I will use these numbers to sort them in a Venn diagram. Okay, so a Venn diagram that I'm going to be sorting them in, we're going to sort them in two different Venn diagrams. The first one is I'm going to tell you to sort them out in odd numbers and even numbers. So we're going to look at the odd numbers and even numbers. So a Venn diagram just looks like that. It looks like that. So they're two circles that overlap each other. So odd numbers. So I'm going to write odd and I'm going to write even. Okay, so the odd numbers is the 1, the 3, the 5, the 7, and 12 and 14, they're even numbers. So the even numbers in here is the rest, which is 2, 4, 6, 12, and 14. So these are the even numbers that we have. So we got even and odd numbers. Now the question is for the people that don't know how to use a Venn diagram is why do they overlap? They overlap for the reason of if these two things have something in common, they would be put together in the middle. Okay, so sorting out odd and even numbers, you're not going to find something in common because it's either odd or it's even or it's either even. So you won't find something in common. But I'm going to give you a different question. Okay, and the second part of this question is sorting them in multiples of 2 and sorting them in multiples of 3. Multiples of 2 and multiples of 3. Okay, so we got the first circle here and we got our second circles here. Okay. Again, we know what the words multiples of 2s and 3s means. If not, I will do a quick little review over here on the side. So multiple of 2 is you just keep on adding by 2. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14. We'll just stop at 14 because that's the biggest number that we got. And multiples of 3s, it's just like 3, 6, 9, 12, 15. And the list goes on, but we'll stop at there. Okay, but the numbers that we're using over here are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 12, and 14. So we don't have the number 9 to use. We don't have the number 15 to use. We don't have the number 10 to use. We don't have the number 6 to use. Okay, so the rest of these numbers, I want you to sort them on a Venn diagram in multiples of 2 and multiples of 3. Okay, so multiples of 2, so we know it's 2, we know it's 4, we know it's 6, we know it's 12, and we know it's 14. Multiples of 3, they're 3, 6, and 12. Now, we have common numbers in both circles. Those common numbers are 6 and 12. So when we're using a Venn diagram, we don't keep those numbers away from each other like that. Because they're the same numbers, we join them together in the middle because it's the common between the two. So we put 6 and 12 right here. So there's no need for the 6 here. There's no need for the 12 here. There's no need for the 6 here. There's no need for the 12 there. So this is how we use a Venn diagram. So within this lesson, I will most likely be telling you to sort things. For example, if it's a parallel, sort them in parallel and perpendicular. So you'll use a shape. You'll sort all the perpendicular shapes on one side or the parallel sides on the other side. And if there's something with, if it's a shape that has both in common, for example, a square, it has perpendicular sides and it has parallel sides, it would be the shape that would go in the middle.